All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Week 7 SHIPIT Nation Cash Game Show. We're here breaking down the slate, and we'll go through kind of each position, FanDuel, DraftKings, see what we can find, start to kind of develop that player pool. Down to 10 games on the main slate. We might have had similar last week, but, the buys are starting to kick in. They're doing more of these 2-game Monday night setups. So less games on the main slate. Like I said, we're down to 10 games. So the number of total options are a little bit less, but we'll talk through it all as always. Joined by my guy, Title. What's going on over there? Then any initial thoughts for Week 7 cash games?
Yeah, always doing well. Talking Friday's always a good day. Talking some preliminary cash, getting like the kind of first look for the NFL this week. Injuries seem pretty light. Like we're starting to get the obviously like Puka's not on this slate, but like the CD Lamb stuff. And I mean, Rico, I don't know how the dude's not going to be the starter. Again, like news is just starting to come out slowly but surely, and not all of that means anything for this slate. But the one thing that does stand out, 10 games, so we get less than we have previously, but 4 afternoon games. And we always talk about this show, tournaments, cash games, late swap is the thing. If you're drawing dead, you got to make some pivots. And with 4 of the 10 games in the afternoon window, you definitely might have some afternoon pieces. And it's obviously in cash games pretty easily most times to see where people, like if they have 3 spots left, usually you can kind of tell after those 1 p.m. games. So that's always the first thing I always say is look at how many games on the slate, how many afternoon games. 4 of the 10, that's a pretty big number. So late swap will be in play this week.
Yeah, and then I know there's a couple weather spots, so you can touch on that as well. I don't know if it necessarily makes any changes for cash games, but it's definitely something to note because it looks like we could have some substantial stuff this week, really for the first time this season.
For sure, yeah. Always look at Kevin Roth. He does a great job. I'm no meteorologist or weatherman. He posted for free. So orange for the Miami and Cleveland game. And this game looks, at 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts, even possibly like 40 miles an hour. Rain, it doesn't, it looks like they'll be there a little bit, but it's the wind that has the most impact. I mean, we're not really playing pass catchers and stuff. Judkins, we'll talk about that when we get there. Sore spot in my heart, but doesn't mean I won't be going back ever again. Yeah. So that's the one game. And then there's another game, yellow-orange, the Saints and Chicago. It looks like rain mostly clears prior to the game, but 15-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 30. Yeah, that's a little significant. So 2 weather games spots on this slate. So that's all I got there.
All right, cool. Best cash show on YouTube from our guy Bodyguard71. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Same place, same time every week, same format. I'll get you guys lined up for some cash game plays this week. So appreciate that support.
Yeah, Hoop's 6-0. I mean, this dude's not losing in our head-to-heads over here. So you might want to listen to what Hoop's saying. He's done a little better than me this year.
Yep. SHIPIT Games, if you're unfamiliar, one member at our site has a chance to face off with me head-to-head as part of the games overall. And the competitors are no victories, let's put it that way. And I am 6-0, undefeated. So this week we'll see Mr. Moorhead. The guy's last name is Moorhead, is stepping up to the plate. So we'll see what he's able to do. As you can see, screen sharing here, SaberSim, our partner. I have their projections up, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, I got the SaberSim projection, SaberSim ownership. We'll roll with that throughout the show. At first glance, I mean, obviously it's only Friday afternoon, so I haven't dug super deep. I think it seems pretty wide open for cash games. We'll see as we go through. I'd say almost more wide open than we've seen in a while. I don't think there's many like standout, absolute must-have sort of plays. Could be wrong. Like I said, I just kind of gave it a first look. Didn't dive in super deep, but we'll start at one. Okay,
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I agree with that, but people might be hesitant to play him coming back. Like, I mean, I'm not. Like, I would 100% fire him. Definitely doing it in tournaments, but like if there's any sort of talk about easing them in. Let's actually start there. We'll start.
They already said they're pretty much like,
Yeah.
because it was a suspension. It's not an injury. I mean, this guy, he's ready to roll. It doesn't sound like there's going to be any limitations. I don't know why there would be. Like, when you're suspended, you're not hurt. Like, you can be up to week 1, week 2, week 3. I mean, you still better be training in game shape, playbook. Like, I lock and load in cash on DK. FanDuel added him late, and they did a much better job. 7,500. We'll get there later. He's still in play there, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if you're watching,
great opportunity.
DK.
Go ahead. Yeah, finish it out. What were you
If you're playing DK cash, play Rashee Rice. If people don't play him, if you see a head to head and the other dude doesn't have him, like, try and find that dude every single week.
I could be wrong, but he's going to be lower owned than he should be. Let's put it that way. We talk about that a lot on the Showdown stuff. I think people are going to be hesitant to click the name first game back. People typically want to see it before they click it. And with him, 5,600, like, I would 100% lock it in. But I think he's going to be lower than he should be in cash games. Put it that way. 56 to me, I mean, there's no reason that he's limited at all. I mean, he's obviously not coming off an injury, so he's been working out, I'd assume, in really good shape, like ready to go. So I think he's definitely a strong option. Let's sort by salary to see if there's any spends at this position. Justin Jefferson, 76. CD Lamb coming back from the injury, 75. Pickens, who's been on an absolute tear, but now, CD Lamb coming back, 73. Rome, 66. So, I mean, there's nothing up here to me that screams like, I got to play him. Sort by value, see what we have. Jacoby Myers at the top. He is currently questionable. Olave continues to get the big boy targets. Potential weather there. Stephon Diggs had the big game, didn't really do much last week. Keenan Allen, 55. I believe Quentin Johnston should be back. He practiced, so that's not super appealing. Josh Downs out. Maybe Michael Pittman's a look at 51. I don't know. I don't see anything that stands out after Rashee Rice. What else do you have here?
No, yeah, I agree. The last broad slate overview type of thing. We have one total in a tier of its own, about 50, 54.5. Washington, Dallas. I mean, this Dallas team can't defend anything. Washington, pretty good offense, but we do have to monitor what they already said. No Terry, and Debo is very questionable. Like, they're not sure about him either. So we do have to be on the lookout for that. But yeah, one total in a tier of its own.
If Debo were to be ruled out as well, if he's in, I think he's a fine option. If he's in, full go, 62. Chris Moore guy, 3K flat. I don't know if we need it, but he had a pretty big game there on the Showdown slate. Luke McCaffrey, I mean, probably have to consider one of those guys if Samuel and Terry are ruled out, right?
Yeah, I think Chris Moore would probably be – he looked kind of like wide receiver 1, like if you take away Debo in this group, and he's 3K, whereas you got 4,100, McCaffrey, Lane, 38. So he'd be my preferred play. By no means, like, you do have to go there. When we talk through it, like, if you're spending up at tight end, like Trey McBride, maybe you're more likely to have to punt a wide receiver, but like Michael Mayer looks pretty good at tight end. So, but by no means would Chris Moore be a lock, but if you are going cheap and wanting to punt, I think Chris Moore would be the guy. But again, that's only if Debo's out.
Yeah, I mean, just not a lot of solid options at this position. Probably, I mean, definitely I would play Rice and then kind of come back and see what kind of fits. There's nothing that is like must play stuff. Let's go to quarterback. Sort it by salary. We'll start there. You got Mahomes at 7K, Jaden Daniels 6'9", Hurts 6'7", Dak Prescott 6'5", Herbert 6'4". So they basically have just a ton of guys spaced out by 100. Sort by value. Caleb Williams is at the top at 58. Mahomes is there at 7. Mahomes has been great. I mean, I know there's a lot of slander on our Sunday morning show directed at Mr. Mahomes, but it's a different Mahomes this year. There's just no doubt about it. 10 rush attempts last game, 6, 4, 5, 7, 6. Like, he's a running quarterback this year. Like, he is. And, we need to adjust. At 7K, like, I get they're favored by a ton. They might not need him, but they're projected to score 30. He's been great. I'm not ruling him out for cash. Based on Saberson's projections, Caleb Williams is probably the guy at 5'8". And go down to, again, another position to me where, nothing really stands out as a must. So give me some names here.
Yeah, and just to touch on the Mahomes thing, a lot of it has to do, they just don't have a running game. Like Pacheco stinks, Kareem Hunt stinks. Like they aren't willing to use Brashard Smith. He's more of a gadget guy. So it just so much is on Mahomes' back. And now he gets Rashee Rice. I mean, him, Worthy, like it's going to be fun if you're a KC fan. I think I don't know. I'm going to say they're probably the favorite to win it all if I had to choose. I thought they looked really good against your Lions last week. And now getting Rashee Rice back, like, I mean, Mahomes is the man. So I think
it is crazy though how week to week the NFL is. Like you just realize it. Like after 2 weeks or whatever with the Chiefs, or 3 weeks, everyone was ready. They're 1-3. They lose to the Ravens. Everyone says they're done. Now they are probably, if I was going to pick a team to win the Super Bowl, it's probably the Kansas City Chiefs. We go into last night's game saying the Bengals are absolutely dead, just a dead team. Joe Flacco's at quarterback. Like they're back, like the Bengals, and they get the Jets next week, so they're going to probably win that game as well. It's just so week to week in the NFL. It's fascinating. It really is.
Yeah, it's awesome. We talk about it like on Star. I think we have before. Like these are all professional players. At the end of the day, like the worst team you can choose, these dudes have been the best on their team most of the time, their whole life. Like they're going to show up, they play hard, they want to do it. Whereas college, I mean, sometimes you get schools that can shell out millions and millions and millions of dollars against schools that can't. So it's just way more lopsided that way. So yeah, week to week league. I also do expect the Chiefs to probably make a move at running back. And if they got like a Breece Hall or something, I mean, they're the favorite in my opinion.
They got to do something there. I mean, Pacheco was fun for a while to see him run so hard, but now he's just running hard and not going anywhere. It's like it's kind of over. Get Mahomes like a solid pass catching running back like a Breece Hall, like you said, and then it is probably game over at that point.
Yeah, so just circling it back in cash games, DK quarterback, I think it's those top three that we're looking at. Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. That's tough for me. I mean, just this Dallas defense is so bad. And with Jaden, his rushing prop, 44.5 yards. I mean, you're saying right there, you're getting 4.4 points just on the ground alone. He's going to have to do a lot without Terry. Without Debo, it's definitely a downgrade, but does he run more? I don't know. And he makes these other guys good. And Dallas is really just that bad. In a dome, it's really close, him versus Mahomes. If you need the savings, I think it is Caleb Williams. But right now, with that just weather, with the winds and stuff, like, I think I want to try and get up to Mahomes or Daniels if I can. Again, I don't hate Caleb Williams, but it's not the best weather. The wind a little bit. If they can keep the ball on the ground, 4.5 point favorites, I think they probably do so. I don't have a strong lean at all between Mahomes and Daniels, though. I'm curious if you do.
Yeah, I'd be fine with either. I will say with the Caleb Williams stuff, if you have to go, they're still projected to score 26 points. So that total really hasn't moved a ton. It's sitting at like 46.5, 47, which makes me feel a little better about Caleb Williams. If you need the money, it might be a slate where we can easily get up to the more stable option. But if it is, you're in a situation where you do have to go Caleb Williams at this point, I'd be fine with it. If the total starts coming down, then maybe just find the money to get up to one of those other guys.
That's a sharp point. Yeah, I mean, weather and everything's baked in, props, like weather is baked into all that. So it hasn't really budged, and we see yellow-orange, not like orange-yellow. So I think that's a good point. It's one of those three right now.
Yeah. Running back position, got Jonathan Taylor at 8,800, big drop-off to Achane at 81, Josh Jacobs 78, Saquon 77, Genti another kind of drop-off down to 7K, and then we got the Rico situation where, I mean, you just have to be a dumbass coach not to give this guy all the work. It sounds like they're probably not. Sounds like Hubbard is going to play, and they're fine. Maybe, something close to 50-50, but, maybe it goes more 60-40 or something. But he's not going to have all the work that he had the last couple of weeks where he, literally outrushed the entire NFL for that 2-week stretch and looked really good. Sucks for him, but it sounds like he's not going to get all the work. We sort by value this Vidal guy. So there's a big difference here in projection for us versus Sabre. They have this guy at 15.5. We have him at 11. Come down. You got Javonte Williams, 67. DeAndre Swift is, I think, some sort of hamstring injury popped up. Sounds like they're still hopeful that he plays. I just saw it right before we hopped on the show, so let me get it. It's officially questionable.
I'd be
Friday.
surprised if he misses, but I'm wrong plenty.
Yeah. Ben Johnson said Friday morning that Swift's groin injury isn't something new from practice. It sounds like Swift's addition to the injury report a matter of maintenance, so he should be fine. Yeah, I mean, if you got the money, I mean, you can probably just go up to one of the high-end guys, but I don't know, another position that I don't really see anything super clear. What do you got here?
Yeah, the problem with the high-end guy, it's like, who do you want? I mean, the one that stands out clearly to me is JT, but he's 8,800. So if like you're playing Caleb Williams, I guess it's more likely you can get up to JT. If you're playing Mahomes or Jaden, it's tougher to do so. Outside of that, like I guess Josh Jacobs at 7.8 for 1K savings is fine, but I don't think we need to completely spend. So Javonte at 6.7, unfortunately just Rico at 6.8, as good as he's been. Chuba being back, like we just don't know what the coach is really going to do yet. I don't think we can spend that in cash. Javonte looks great though, 6,700. Again, that I want exposure to that game, 54.5 total in a tier of its own. He didn't get there last week, but he had 8 targets. Like his expected fantasy points were a lot better than his actual result. I'll keep going there. Clear RB1. Breece Hall, he just looks way too cheap at 6,300. Like no Garrett Wilson. This Jets receiving corp is absolutely depleted. Obviously, Braylon Allen's been hurt. If you have nobody, why don't you get the ball to your best player? You can catch passes out of the backfield.
The man had 22 carries last week and 5.9 fantasy points. That is crazy. The Jets just trade this guy. He's too talented to be on this shitty team.
Yeah, if he goes to the Chiefs, I mean, that offense will be unstoppable. Yeah. It's just a misprice, though, 6,300.
Yeah, agree.
I think is good. The old crop top guy, Quentin Judkins. I mean, man, it's their favorites against a bad Miami team with a rookie quarterback and strong wins. Yeah, I loved him last week. It's only a better spot this week. Why wouldn't he get the ball 20 times? He's 6K. He's very much in cash consideration. I'll leave it right there. And then, yeah, if you want to go cheaper, I think it's either Swift or Vidal. Swift, again, a little weather there, but home favorites, 4.5. Good price, and he did well on Monday. And then, yeah, the Vidal stuff, I mean, it's pretty much like what you get at a projection is just how you split up the touches between him and Haskins. But it has to be Vidal. I mean, he looked way better than Haskins last week. He got way more touches, 70% of them. Second highest total on the slate. He looks pretty good. He can catch passes out of the backfield. It just seems like it's his right now. So if you're going to starting running back on a good Chargers team that should move the football, totally good with Vidal there. So, yeah, I think my two favorite, if I had to pick, is Breece and Javonte. But, yeah, you have 6'7", Javonte, 6'3", Breece, 6K Judkins, 5'7", Swift, 5'5", Vidal. All of them are very solid. If you do have the money and you want JT or Jacobs, I'm fine with it. But, like, point per dollar wise, I think you're living in that, like, high 5K range.
Yeah, I like the Javonte call. I mean, gets you exposure to the highest total on the slate, and he gets all the work. I mean, ran pretty bad last week in terms of workload versus fantasy points, which you kind of touched on. So I think that's a really good play and a way to get exposure to that highest total on the slate. We already did wide receiver, so we'll flip to tight end, sort by salary. We got McBride at the top, Ferguson, Warren. Sounds like Bowers is going to be out again. He hasn't practiced all week. Tucker Kraft, Travis Kelce. Sort by value, Mason Taylor is at the top, which makes sense. No Garrett Wilson, and they really don't have any other. He might be their like wide receiver 1 this week, which is insane. He's 3,400. Warren, McBride, got Chig up here, Dallas Goedert, Fannin, no David Njoku. I believe he's officially out. I think I just saw that come through. Yeah, fairly certain that he's been ruled out. So Fannin 39, it's going to be tough to pass there. Michael Mayer, Raiders more than likely to be playing from behind, 3,500. So you can get out of this pretty cheap, I think, if you want. To me, if you want to go cheap, Mason Taylor, Michael Mayer. If you want to spend, it's kind of the usual suspect. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, tight end I think is probably right now the hardest position. A lot of these guys look really good. When we talk on Sunday, like we'll be totally fine with 2 tight end builds. If you want the highest price guy in Trey McBride, 5'7", it sounds like it'll be Jacoby Brissett again. That's an upgrade for Trey McBride. It was clear last week. He finally got in the box. He almost had another one too. They didn't call PI, but Brissett's looking for him. And so I think he's good, which should be a trailing game script. Tyler Warren, if you need the 500, like I'm going to keep playing him. I played him at low ownership last week. Again, I keep saying it, but a guy that's going to get goal line carries or has in the past to go along with like no Josh Downs. Daniel Jones loves him. He's a really good football player. So I think that's a good price. But then if you want to save, there is Fannin. Njoku is out. You were right with that. What about Zach Ertz at 3.8? Like no Terry? What if there's no Debo? He had a great game on Monday too. He could be one of the biggest beneficiaries with all those injury news in the highest total on the slate. Good with him. Michael Mayer. He was a very good play last week at 3.5K, assuming no Brock Bowers. He had a lot of looks. I mean, they were running tight end screens for him. Really good price tag. Should be trailing and throwing the ball a lot. Mason Taylor, 3.4K. Again, he's going to be the number one target. We saw it a couple weeks ago. I believe it was on the Monday slate. Like Fields looked to him a lot, just kept dumping it down. No Garrett Wilson. I think Breece Hall and Mason Taylor very much in play. That's where I'm going to cap it at. I think they're all so strong. I guess what if you are saving, you know that. Fannin, Ertz, Mayer, Mason Taylor. How are you separating that?
Mason Taylor, I think, would be my guy. I mean, he has a chance to be not just tight end one on the team, but like wide receiver one. Like they don't have anyone to catch passes now. It's Justin Fields throwing the ball, and it looked pretty damn rough last week. They're going to be a little bit better this week, so I would probably go with Taylor.
Yeah, and like if you're playing Jaden Mahomes, you're probably more likely not to get up to the Trey McBride stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think I will be filling out tight end early though. Like I'll kind of see where I'm at in that range. If I have the money for Trey McBride, sure. If I have the money for Tyler Warren, sure. If I don't, totally fine. There's plenty of really good options down below.
Yeah, so we have a very aggressive projection on Fannin, 13. That's like probably way too high. But Saber still has
Njoku out.
Yeah, Saber still has Njoku in. So this is going to go up. So yeah, maybe it's going to be tough to pass. It'll be tough to pass along there. So I mean, maybe the tight ends are still able to have some success. So maybe he's a little more viable, I guess, than him.
Yeah, that's one I'll be definitely keeping a close eye on. Their props, projections, all that. Like it's a very strong tight end slate. But the thing is, because we have a lot of those mid-tier running backs, like I'm leaning, I want 3 running backs in cash more than likely, which means I'll probably just end up on 1 tight end. So yeah, we just don't have like the Puka Nakuas, there is JT on the slate, but like the complete spends where you go stars and scrubs, we don't really have that this week.
No.
So I do think you're probably just playing 1 tight end. Which one? Good luck guessing. There's a lot of very strong ones.
Yeah. We'll touch on defense quickly. I think there's a lot of solid options. I have it sorted by value. So Sabersim has a very strong projection on the Broncos at 11.3. That's kind of an outlier. I guess if you wanted to spend, you could, but there's going to be some good options down here. Browns at home with 40-mile-an-hour winds and Tua on the other side looks like a very strong option. Vikings against the Eagles. Yeah, it'd be fine if you want to do that. I think my favorite cheap would definitely be the Panthers facing the Jets. I mean, the Jets just gave up 9 sacks and no Garrett Wilson. So I think they're a strong option. If I had to pick one right now, I think I'd probably Browns or Panthers.
I think I'm going Broncos right now if I had to pick one. I just think there's enough, like we said, like those middling running backs. There's enough cheap tight ends that look pretty good. I mean, Jackson Dart can make a lot of mistakes. He looks really good NFL quarterback, but we just saw it against the Saints. What they put up 16, 18 against them. Like he can take sacks. He can create turnovers, or he can turn the ball over, I should say. Yeah. Denver. Again, it's by no means do I fill it out right away, but if that's the projection you're looking at and using, I mean, I would play that for sure. That if they're the top value with an outlier projection like that, that's where I'd go. But again, I don't think right now I would prioritize Denver, but I'm if the slate locked today, that's who I think I'd be playing.
Okay. All right, let's flip to FanDuel, see what we can find over there. We're going to start at quarterback. And the one thing that definitely stands out to me right out of the gate is over on DK, you have Mahomes more expensive than Jaden Daniels. You come to FanDuel, Mahomes is $700 cheaper. If you sort by the projection, again, we're using Sabres projections. They have Mahomes as the top projected guy and the fifth most expensive. So he definitely pops off the page as a good value. Compare the price. Caleb Williams over on DK, he was showing up as a good value at 58. Well, he's only $100 cheaper than Mahomes. See if anything else pops up value wise. Justin Herbert's a little bit cheaper over here. We've got Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. It's probably just going to. To me, I think it's Mahomes, like on FanDuel at 8K. I mean, I guess you could make the case if you needed to save additional salary to go down lower, but I don't know. 8K is a very modest price tag on a guy that's been probably one of the best fantasy quarterbacks this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's probably Mahomes. Like that 700 up to Jaden. I mean, if you have Jaden projected higher and you have $700, sure. But
Yeah,
I'm more likely if I'm playing both sites right now, play Mahomes on FanDuel. I wouldn't hate playing Mahomes on both sides. He feels really safe, but if you want like
the natural hedge.
Mahomes. I mean, that 700 price difference, whereas he's 100 more than Jaden on DK. That definitely stands out.
Yeah, so I mean, by natural hedge, we mean if you're playing both sites, and we talked about Mahomes and Jaden being pretty close, and you're playing Mahomes on FanDuel, you just go Jaden on DK, and then you have exposure to both, and kind of split it up that way. And pricing makes sense doing it that way too. So just something you don't have to do it, but just something to consider doing. Running back, let's see. It looks like it could be a lot of the same names. We talked about Javonte Williams. We talked about Breece Hall, $7,500 for Williams. Breece Hall, probably even cheaper over here on FanDuel, $7K. Your Dusty Junkins guy is $7,400. Let's sort by salary. What do the spends look like? Jonathan Taylor, $10K. Josh Jacobs, $92. Barkley, $87. Achane, $85. And then it kind of drops off to those guys that we've already talked about. Just looking at this, it's probably pretty similar in the fact that Javonte looks nice, Breece Hall looks nice. I mean, I guess if DeAndre Swift gets full go, like right now he's officially questionable, we think he's going to play. 6,300 is very cheap. Like when you start getting to that like 6K-ish range for a running back, like they get one touchdown, you're almost like free rolling the rest of the game because they're going to pick up some yards. So if he's full go, I think he's definitely appealing too. And then I guess it's just a matter of if you have the money for a spend after those two or two of the value type plays.
Yeah, it's very similar to on DK. Can you hear that, by the way?
What is it, a plane or something?
Yeah.
It's like super loud.
We're right by like an air base. Like there's like the military jets and stuff be going over, and it's super loud at times. So you can't.
That must be. That's got to be a big boy because usually like these microphones do a good job of canceling out the background on that.
They do such a good job. Yeah, no, these things are massive. I mean, they're fun. They do a lot of tests and stuff out here. So yeah, they're big boys for sure. Yeah, it's really similar to DraftKings. I think like when you sort it by point per dollar, like Vidal, Javonte, Swift, Breece, all very good plays. The one that looks better on FanDuel than DK is Croxy Merritt. They're probably going to want to run the football. I mean, Dallas is so bad, but without Terry and maybe without Debo, get him the rock. He did fumble, but he still played a bunch. 6,600 is cheap, touchdown dependent site. He has a good touchdown prop. Like he's the one that also looks pretty good. If I were to spend, probably Achane at 8.5 just because JT all the way up at 10K, Jacobs 9.2. But I think like with Javonte just 1K less, Junkins 1,100 less, Croxy, Swift, Vidal, Breece, like pretty cheap. What am I trying to say? A lot cheaper. I think it's probably the same on DK as FanDuel with those four. And then Croxy Merritt definitely in play too.
All right, let's check out wide receiver, see what stands out there. Stephon Diggs is questionable, by the way. I don't know like how legit. If it's real questionable, or we just got to label him questionable. He was limited at practice on Thursday, limited sessions. So that is something to monitor. And I mean, who are those dudes that went off last week? Like Booty, yeah.
Douglas had the
Booty.
long one, but Booty would be the one. I expect him to play.
I think so. Sort by salary just to see. You got Jefferson 9K, CD Lamb 86. Tough to go there. Pickens 8K. Tough to go there, assuming CD Lamb's back. Cortland Sutton 77. Tough to go there. AJ Brown 76. We talked about Rashee Rice, much cheaper on DK. Chargers guys are probably all back deep. Man, that's tough. Sort by value, you got Diggs, Myers, Olave. I feel like Myers and Olave have been at the top of this list on FanDuel every single slate this season.
Hold on, is that real?
I didn't see that he was out.
I didn't either.
I saw questionable.
I just saw 7 minutes ago Diggs. He's thinking of Trayvon.
Oh, that's the cornerback for the Cowboys. Talking about Stephon
Diggs,
wide receiver. Yeah, I was like, I didn't see that. I don't think.
Yeah, chat's questionable should play. Is my guess.
Michael Pittman, 5,800, no downs. Maybe that's a play. Our guy Tet, like they haven't adjusted like any of these prices on these dudes. Tet's, I think, been 6-6 for like 4 weeks in a row. Myers, Olave, Diggs, Keenan, like all these guys have been priced basically the same. It is tough though, man. Like nothing truly stands out here.
Yeah, this is why you're allowed to like spend up at quarterback pretty easily though. Like Diggs, Jacoby, Olave, you're looking at wide receiver ones. I think Jacoby would be my least favorite. I mean, I think he gets traded pretty soon. However, there is no like Bowers, but there's still Trey Tucker, Meyer that they're good going to, and they should be trailing and throwing a lot. If spending, I think it is CD Lamb. Like it sounds like there's going to be no restraints on him. It's the best game environment. Like if he was 8-6 and he wasn't injured this whole time, like he'd be a stone cold lock in this game environment here. So
we'll come to nobody's surprised, but yeah, I think CD in tournaments is such a great play because people are always scared to go to a guy right after an injury, and they were cautious, I think, with this one, and he's full go in a really good spot.
Yeah, I think he's the spend if you are spending, which you easily can. Rashee Rice at 7.5, it is a lot more expensive, but I just think that shows how much of an amazing play he is on DraftKings. Like I have no hesitation at all on him. He's one of the best receivers in football. I mean, just go back and look what he did when healthy with one of the best quarterbacks thrown to him. So I think Rashee Rice is in play at 7.5 as well. Going down a little more, yeah, I don't know. Even Debo, if he does play, without Terry, I think it's probably fine in the game environment. I do probably prefer finding the 400 to get to Rashee Rice. Going down a little more, Olave, Keenan Allen, the same price. I think I just prefer Olave, even with the weather, just because Quentin Johnston will be back. There's Ladd McConkey. There's just a lot more mouths to feed, and Olave gets peppered. So that's a good price at 6.2. And then, yeah, Pittman, Diggs, Jacoby, they're all 5.8. Like, how are you ranking that? Because that's a pretty big decision, and all three of them I think are very solid plays.
It's tough. I mean, I don't know, like no Josh Downs. I mean, maybe it's Pittman. It's tough though, man.
That's my lean if I had to pick right now, but I don't have I ask you because I mean you've been nailing it. The Waddle that 1 week when there was 3 or 4, you said Waddle he nuked. It's all three of them very much in play, and you might land at 5.8 for your last spot and have to pick one of the three.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say Pittman at this point, but it is tough. I mean, it's definitely because they're all clearly underpriced, and it's always difficult when you're parsing through like a bunch of underpriced guys opposed to the studs. Like the studs, it's easier to make those decisions opposed to a bunch of value plays that are kind of projecting similarly. So,
do you feel
you're probably gonna have to play it?
Yeah. Would you you can obviously play 2 of them too. If you're doing that, you're more than likely probably not going Olave. Like, do you want to find the 400? Do you look at Olave as a safer step up or not really?
I think it's pretty similar, honestly. I mean, it's like Spencer Rattler throwing him the ball. I mean, it's dicey stuff, but it's like you're going to have to play some of these dudes just because of the way the pricing sets up. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're talking receiver ones on all these guys are receiver ones for way too cheap.
Yes, exactly. And when you compare their prices here to the ones on DraftKings, you can definitely see that these guys are much cheaper over here relative to the salary cap than over on DK. So probably got to play two of these dudes in this range for sure. And then, probably decide what you want to do, whether you get all the way up to a CD Lamb or someone like that, or go to, Rashid Rice, who I think is just totally fine. Like, he's coming back. He gets Mahomes. Like, it's not like, it's some random quarterback throwing him the ball. They developed a great connection, especially last year. So I have no, like the 7.5, like he's going to be an 8K wide receiver on FanDuel very soon. So I think
Might
you're
be
getting a
9K.
discount there.
And you need to spend money. I mean, like
somewhere. Yeah, you got to spend
Yeah.
somewhere. We talked about the quarterbacks are all too cheap. We have value running backs. I'm sure when we get to tight end, it's going to be cheap there. You're going to have a cheap defense. You got to spend somewhere. Maybe it is wide receiver. You just lock in some security.
Yeah, it very well could. I mean, we'll jump to tight end right now. I think that's a good segue. Like I might just overspend for Trey McBride too at the end of the day at 6'9". I don't hate it, but there's so many. Mason Taylor 4.7 is just way too cheap. Fannin 5.5 is too cheap too. Like we said, the projection, they still have Njoku in. Myers too cheap at 5.1. I think right now it's either probably go all the way. Well, Tyler Warren's more expensive. I do lean McBride probably if choosing at 6'9", good game script, but you might just overspend if that's what you want to call it. Otherwise, it's probably just go all the way down to like a Mason Taylor. Like 4.7 is way too cheap. So that's kind of like what we're talking about. If you want to play Rashid Rice, CD, and then just pick one below, maybe you do have to play Mason Taylor. I don't think JT, I think he's a little too highly priced, but if you wanted to go like a Javonte, Achane, something like that, we're already spending at quarterback. Like, You'll be able to build some all-star teams on FanDuel just because of those mispriced running back and receivers.
Yeah, for tight end, I think either just go all the way down and play Taylor, or all the way up and McBride, or I don't know, maybe if you like Warren better, you play him. But it's pretty clear you just eliminate all these other dudes. Like, we love Ferguson. I think great for tournaments, but 6-8 in cash, like, no thanks. Even Goddard, Kelsey, like, there's just no point. Like, I'll save another $1,100, $1,200 and just go with Taylor, who again could be the wide receiver one for this Jets offense. Now it's the Jets offense and they freaking suck. We just saw it last week, but you're still getting a wide receiver one. So
yeah, they're still implied for 20 at home against Carolina. Like it's one of those. And defenses, like you just like right now, I'm probably just playing the Broncos just because all the money we have. Like by no means, again, do I think it's a lock right now. But if we need to spend money, the Broncos look pretty good at home. Lowest team total, 16.5 for the Giants. Like on the road at Mile High is pretty tough for a rookie quarterback.
It's definitely going to be easier to do it on FanDuel. And you probably do it on both if you want to play the Broncos. But 4,300 it's easy to get there. You're not going to be sacrificing much to make it happen. Browns have talked about at 39. I talked about the Panthers over on DK. Wouldn't play them over here on FanDuel. You can get a really good defense by not going all the way up. So I would kind of prioritize, maybe it is the Broncos, or if you like the Chiefs better, like you can make it happen. So I would probably prioritize defense a little bit here.
Yeah, I think so. And that's just a result of a pretty soft slate or pretty soft pricing at the receiver and running back position, like we said.
Yeah. All right. Kind of went through both sites. As I said in the opening, the plan here is to kind of develop that player pool and then get you guys to come on over to SHIPITNation.com, where we have cores for DK and FanDuel updated all the way to lock based on any news that might come out and change things. But best community in the industry, or Discord is very friendly. You can get in there, ask questions to any of us. So we'd love to have you. You can try it out right now. Didn't really talk about this much, but 5 days for $19. It's going away very, very soon. That code is SHIP19. So it'll get you full access, 5 days, $19. Now is obviously a good time to get in. You get the baseball playoff content, you get UFC, you get NFL main slate, the NFL showdown stuff. So
college
football as well.
And Tuesday's NBA. It's the best time of the year.
It is crazy. So now is actually a very good time to use this code. 5 days, $19. We'd love to have you. any final thoughts before we get out of here, Title?
No, again, the late swap, I just want to touch on that key component one more time. If you're drawing dead, you got to give yourself a chance. It's helped me a lot in the past. Obviously, when you do that, don't expect to win, but having a 10% chance instead of a 0% chance is definitely a lot better. So, yeah, almost half the games in that late window, including the game of the slate, Dallas and Washington. So you will probably have pieces like if CD's popular. There's George Pickens, you know what I mean? There's Ferguson if you're playing Trey McBride or stuff like that. Like you'll be able to pivot onto good football players at a lot lower ownership if you need to.
Yep, absolutely. What is it? 4 games in the afternoon. So yeah, you definitely have some options this week with these big team totals. I mean, the Colts big team total, Chargers big team total, Denver, Washington, Dallas, Green Bay, all big team totals. So you'll have some options, and especially the one way to do it if you don't have a ton of time is just go to your highest stakes contest. If you're if you're someone that has a bunch of $5 contests, but then you have $100 contest, go to that first and kind of work your way down and see in regards to the head-to-heads, 50-50s, double ups, and those sort of contests. But it's always a good point and definitely a good talking point. So, all right, well, that'll do it for the show. On the way out, if you could hit the like and subscribe, we'd appreciate the support. Good luck in your contest. We'll be back next week with the Week 8 edition of the SHIPIT Nation Cash Game Show.